One thing I really appreciate about the aim of our winter retreat, as Venerable has said over and over, is that we're really retreating from the afflictions. And so, continuing to come back to that throughout those 3 months, I noticed that there was this tone that would kind of take over my mind sometimes, this really like tightening feeling. And it was when, someone was doing something that I didn't quite understand, I didn't think was the right way to do it. Maybe it was something that I wanted to do, but they were getting to do it. This kind of tightness would form in my mind. And so one of my practices during the retreat that I've really continued, because it still comes up, is the practice of letting go. And it started by just really noticing that there was this tightness that I was holding in my mind, but then also noticing it in my body, and just really practicing like opening my hands, relaxing my shoulders, relaxing my belly. And I was surprised, and still continue to be surprised, at how I hold tension in my body and I don't even notice it, but that's often really reflected in my mental state when I'm getting this tightness. And so in addition to letting go in this physical way to whatever this tension is, I also have been working to let it go emotionally and mentally too. And one thing that's been important for me is to make sure that this letting go isn't just like sweeping it under the rug, isn't like pushing it down and pretending it doesn't exist. It's not this kind of superficial, that doesn't bother me. But really, it still keeps ruminating in my mind, and it does. This letting go is not including like shoulding myself, like I shouldn't feel that way, I shouldn't be upset, because that is not helpful for me to really have an open heart to the person or the situation that's in front of me. So instead of doing these things, I have been utilizing the tools that the Buddha taught, and really using the Buddhist worldview to support this letting go. And one thing that's been really awesome is that it's been a reminder to come back to these daily intentions that we set each morning, to do no harm, to be of benefit, and to generate bodhicitta, and this aspiration to attain full awakening so we can be of the most benefit to all beings. Because I've been setting these intentions for a number of years when I wake up, and then when we first get to the hall in the morning, and I find that it's really easy for them to slip my mind. And so one really gift of noticing this tension and wanting to work with it is that it's turned into this reminder of coming back to wanting to do no harm and be of benefit. And so to have that help guide my actions, and I can really question, is what I'm about to say right now, is it going to be helpful, or is it just me trying to get what I want? And then probably going to cause some tension or make someone feel uncomfortable. Is it going to be something that I regret later? So coming back to those intentions really helps me discern what is perhaps wise in that moment and what's going to benefit the community. And then I can say something, or maybe it's for someone's health and safety, and then it's really appropriate. But if it's just me and my preferences kind of guiding what I'm doing and saying, then maybe I can just pause and even learn from someone who does it differently. Another way that I am working with this letting go is really using it as an opportunity to rejoice that I have the opportunity to practice. And seeing that in these moments where I'm feeling tight and I have this ruminating mind, this is a prime moment to cultivate compassion for myself and for others, to recognize that there is an affliction present and apply an antidote, and to really use this, because when things are going fine and I'm feeling okay, then it's easy to be loving, to be open to what other people are sharing, to even maybe hear criticism. If I'm in an okay mood, it's a lot easier to let it roll off my back. But if I'm already kind of stressed and maybe something is important to me and I say something and it gets met with words that I don't really want to hear, then that's the prime time to really observe my reaction and work with it and see that as a gift, like, oh, thank you for this opportunity. May I have the fortitude to respond in a healthy way. And then also during the retreat, we were really looking at these characteristics of cyclic existence that kind of permeate. They permeate the not the foundations of mindfulness. They permeate the aggregates, but I guess it's the foundations of mindfulness is what we're working on, and looking at the true nature of the body and the mind, and seeing that these things that I look to as pleasurable and really kind of take for granted as always kind of being there, being steady, seeing that they are not satisfactory, that they are changing all the time, and there's actually no me that is anywhere in them. And so using these three characteristics of samsara to help me let go of things has also been really helpful to see, like, is this situation always going to be like it is? Is my mind able to look at it a different way, and will it kind of naturally shift maybe on its own due to the nature of impermanence? And Venerable mentioned recently, like, is this something that's going to matter in an hour or tomorrow or in a week or a year? Am I even going to remember it? And so if it's not going to really matter tomorrow, then maybe I don't need to kind of step in with, I know the right way to do things today, and let someone kind of give from their heart in whatever way that they are doing their thing. And looking at the unsatisfactoriness of cyclic existence and seeing that going for this habitual behavior of kind of micromanaging, saying, kind of trying to change people and how they're doing things to make it match how I want it to be done, that doesn't actually lead to my own happiness or the happiness of others. There's still this unsatisfactory nature of it that I think that getting my way will make me happy. But even if I say something like, hey, the tongs go in this container, the ladles go in this container, and the slotted spoons they go in the same thing with the other spoons. Depending on where someone is and how they're able to receive that, it's not so important. And if that's going to cause tension between me and the other person, then I'm, one, not going to get what I want, probably, because they might not even respond by doing what I'm requesting. And two, then no one's happy if it's like grumble kind of reaction. And so not even like getting what I want or asking people to do what I want leads to happiness, even though it's this, habitual thinking that it will. And then looking at selflessness and seeing that there is no speck of inherent existence in myself or the other person or the situation just leads me to question, like, who is this person that wants to get what they want? Like, where is that in me? It's not my body, it's these different components in my mind. And so those are changing. I can really develop my good qualities of kindness. I can decrease my qualities of irritation. There's nothing really solid that actually needs to get what I want. And I can look at the other person too and see, what is it about this person or this situation that is I'm clinging to, that I want to, hold on to and control. And also seeing then, like, really, here's a kind, sentient being who's doing their best and has a good intention and is offering to the community with an open heart, or maybe even not an open heart, but offering to the community in the best way that they can, wanting to be of benefit. And so kind of thinking like that really just helps me let go of what my expectations are, who I think I am, what I think I need, and my judgments and assumptions of the other person. And I'm probably projecting some of their intentions and motivations, and that's really not helpful or necessary. So coming back to these 3 characteristics has really helped me just open my mind and see that this letting go and bringing more ease into my mind is what is cultivating greater contentment and happiness than like pushing against the reality of whatever the situation is and just trying to, get people to agree with me or do things the same way that I do, whatever that is. And examining this and knowing that this is like an afflicted mind, but I wanted to look more closely into what is it that I'm really letting go of. Because I don't want to let go of my kindness and my compassion, but I do want to let go of my attachment and aversion to worldly concerns. And I think this is where a lot of this is coming from. My attachment to pleasant words and aversion to criticism, attachment to my reputation and fear of others thinking badly of me. And I being able to identify it in this way, then I can go to those antidotes and really see, is praise and a good reputation assistant on the way to awakening, or is it just something that can contribute to my arrogance and actually take me away from cultivating my good qualities? Because in also looking at what I'm letting go of, I'm also looking to let go of my arrogance and other afflictions. But really this kind of arrogance that thinks that I know the best way to do something. I have all the information I need to be able to come into a situation and fix it. Say what is the right way to go about this. And so that arrogance doesn't really serve me because others are in their world doing things that is the best way according to them. And so this is a great way to butt heads together. And nobody wins. I might think it leads to happiness to come in and tell people how to do it, but experience is showing me otherwise. And then also this attachment to being right. And I think that this is self-centeredness. I think this is my happiness, my way is more important than you doing things your way, even if that makes you more comfortable in what you would like to do. So that's been a nice red flag for me when I think that I'm right and see things are, someone is just going in a different order or whatever it is, making something that's not my favorite lunch. Whatever, that my being right, my thinking that I know what would be a nice lunch to make, it's not actually that accurate. My way of interpreting things is not always the best and is not always the most beneficial. And so being aware of this, I can then, again, pause, come back to my intentions of being of benefit and not wanting to harm, and really question, is what I'm about to say really in line with my values? And can I just kind of let this go and not be so caught up in it and not ruminate about it and not solidify this person who's doing this thing? And so this has been really helpful for me. And I think that working with these kind of small things that really don't matter in an hour or tomorrow, just seeing the reality of that has been really supportive in this practice, to see how many things I get wrapped up in that aren't important. And by practicing with these little things, this is going to help me be able to let bigger things go. Like, what if someone, hacks into my, some accounts and steals my identity, they wipe out my savings, there's all these things that happen. Like, how can I work to, of course, remedy it, but also not let it cultivate hate and anger and resentment in my mind, and just be able to let it go. What if my computer shatters? What if I drop it and it breaks? how can I navigate that gracefully? And I think that, yeah, just doing these, it's kind of every day I have this experience of letting go. This is going to become my habit. And then when I do drop my computer, it maybe won't be the end of the world. And because eventually I'm going to need to let go of a lot more that I'm attached to, like friends and loved ones when they die. I'm going to need to let go of them when I die. I'm going to need to let go of my body. And my hope is that by, kind of going through this practice in these small ways, on a daily basis, that when I get to that place of losing everything that I am familiar with and being extremely uncomfortable, that this letting go will continue to kick in, and I can continue to look at the defects of cyclic existence and see that it's much more beneficial to let go than to cling on tight. And doing this so that I can create the causes for my own and others' happiness in this life and future lives, and create the habits that are going to help me be able to continue on this path to awakening and support others to do the same.